Hi friends, welcome to my Rolodex with Mickey and Minnie. Decided to do a Rolodex of Mickey and Minnie because I belong to a Rolodex addiction group on Facebook, and they're doing a swap for Disney characters or Disney inspired Rolodex. I did not join the swap, but I want to do the inspiration. I was inspired by the swap, so I want to do the theme. And the theme was to do Disney characters and use the word Disney in the prompt. So I decided to sand down my junk mail paper card thing here, and instead of gessoing the whole thing, and just sketch on it. I knew I need to add room for ears and a bow for Minnie's bow, so I didn't cut the top of my card. I wasn't even sure if I needed the side, so I left the side and the top just in case. I didn't know how big or anything like that, what was be sticking out. So I'm sketching Minnie's eyes here, and her nose, and her little heart-shaped face, and started off with her today. And then of course I make sure I get the ears and the bow, her little hair bow, right over the top. And I really like the way the card turned out. It's really cute. So I did make the bow a little bit big there, but I decided to go a little bigger even. But I keep sketching around. I want to make everything proportioned, so I kind of go step by step. Sometimes I have to make it a little bit bigger, a little different, because I want Mickey to fit inside her pretty cute. And he's got a little bit of a mischievous look on his face, but yes, I make him a little bit different than usual. Instead of the little heart shape, he's got a little bit of a pointy eyebrows, more than usual, but he still looks like Mickey. And this is the old style of Mickey and Minnie, where their bodies are black and Mickey Mouse is still wearing the big white gloves. I'm not sure if he still does. I don't know. I haven't watched the show or any kind of Disney for a very super long time, so I don't know how modern, but this is the kind of Mickey and Minnie I used to watch. So I decided to keep it all kind of black and white, gray, and that kind of colors instead of adding colors. And I didn't even paint over my background. I just left it the cloudy, little bit of blue tinge in the background. Whatever I sanded off, and whatever you see, you see. It looks pretty cool, I think. So just still working on it here now. I'm just darkening it up and making things a little bit more adjusted, and making sure I have kind of a shaded area, just because I want to remember where I want to shade it, and I'm going to be painting over a little bit of it here and there, so don't want it too covered. Cutting around all the things that are over my Rolodex card part that stick out. And then I start with my gesso, and I just use gesso and acrylic paint and some Posca pens after, and that's it. That's my mixed media. That's my mix up there. So the gesso, this is Arts Loft gesso, and I'm not finding it's covering too well, but it's okay for this particular one. I just mix it in with a little bit of black and make it more gray for the face, and use the pure gesso as highlights and that kind of thing for them. So I go over it all a little bit here. And definitely think I might need to get a different kind of gesso. I do use DecoArts as well, but my jars that I do get are so small that they don't last me too long. But I think I'll pick some more up. Now I'm mixing up the white, the gesso, and the black acrylic. And the black acrylic is from DecoArts, sorry. And I love their products. So the black turned out really great for me. But I'm making it gray here a little bit because I don't want his face or her face to be too white. I want some white highlights, like in the eyes and on the nose, and perhaps a little bit on the fingers, but not too many places with white highlights. So I go first for the gray areas, then I jump in for the black areas, and I'm just kind of filling in as I go. Adding more darker as I want to go darker. So the bow is a little darker, but not pure black, and I lighten it up a bit too. But I want to start with a little bit of a darker base, so then it has a little bit of a feel that there is color in her bow, as well as her dress. Her dress is not quite as dark as the bow that I start off with, but yeah. Now I got the black ears going and the black around her face and his face, all that, and it's going perfect. The little nose, little eyes. This brush was just a little bit thicker than I needed for the eyes, but I still worked with it. I decided not to switch it out. I just wanted to play. I don't know the size of this brush because it's all peeled off, but it's a very small brush. About, I wouldn't even know. Let's see if I can compare it to something. I don't know. It's a fairly small brush, as you can see, but just not too thin for the smaller mouth area. So I just kind of went in there very lightly and kind of went just to the edge and saved any points and all that kind of thing for my Posca pens because I knew I wasn't going to get with the brush. As you can see, it kind of just leaves his room for his tongue and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so then I fill in all the lines and all that kind of thing with Posca pen. Here I am with the gray again around the ears and the areas where it would be low lighted or highlighted, I suppose. But I go in and thin that out with a little bit of black and that kind of thing. So it's a little back and forth, just layering of the black and white gesso and the grays. Doing a little bit of a line on his arms and along his tummy area too, but I don't think I do it right here yet. The gray to make it like his body's two-tone, not so flat. I think I'm going to be going in her dress. Yes, so her dress is quite light and I actually have to darken it up a bit. I made it too gray, but it's actually better, a little lighter than darker, I thought, so that was good. I didn't want as dark as her bow. But I wanted the feel of a black and white photo of the movie, the older movies, so I liked the way it looked. Now I'm going in with that gray on her bow to bring it out from the dark, and I still have some darkness in the background, so it's dimensional. Posca pen coming out, so I'm doing, this one's the thinner one, and it's kind of drying out on me, so I was trying to get it in there, but it's starting to get too scratchy, so I ended up having to change it. Didn't want to work at some point. Need to get replaced. Gotta order one of these days when I have the ability to. So I ended up going with the thicker one, and it didn't actually ruin the lines. I was thinking it was going to be too thick, but it actually worked really well, and I ended up going with the thicker one. You'll see in a second here if I have or not. I might have already. It's so fast when I did speed this up like 4 times to get it in here for like, yeah, here's the one where I moved it. Got into the other one. And it wasn't too thick where I couldn't handle and control and do the corners and that kind of thing, so that was nice. I like to do the little corners of the cheeks and get that in there right and all that kind of stuff, so. He was looking a little naughty Mickey right here, but I end up making it a little more subtle as I add a little paint on his eyes and that kind of thing. He looked like he was planning a naughty night, planning to either be a trickster or something, but I kind of softened his eyes a little bit with a little bit of gray and white after, and he looks more just like he's taking her out or something. But anyways, I don't know where I was going with those little eyes, but so here I use the Posca pen to lighten up some parts of her dress. I'm running out of this too, and I ended up having to use some paint for his glove because on the other side of his hand, because I just couldn't get the Posca, and there blops right out on her nose. Like, yeah, good thing I didn't get it too crazy. But there we go. Highlights on the eyes, split up that head piece there, get his little hands in there. I had to do some low lights and highlights in his hands on both sides, the one where her shoulder is, and then the one right in front of him as well. So there you go. I'm kind of starting to soften up those little corners there, and I go in with a little bit of paint to soften up the corners around his eyes so he doesn't look so mischievous. He's starting to already look a little bit more like hey hey instead of naughty Mickey. So I just getting that done, thinning out some of the grays there, and it's a perfect match with that black acrylic, so it's looking really good. Highlighting or outlining some things so they pop. Drawing that up, just checking it out, because I wanted to also add the word Disney in here. So I'm playing around still and thinking about how do I want to handwrite it. I hate my handwriting, so didn't know if I want to do that. And I'm fixing a few things here and there that I didn't like. So colors or like shades and stuff. And so that's what I'm doing now. I want to also to add a little bit more shade to that glove, I think. So I ended up doing that a little bit with the paint. The white wasn't really working for me. There we go. Go back with the paint. So cute, so cute. They make a perfect pair. So then I had my Disney typed out, and then I glued it onto a back of packaging that has some beautiful, cute little yellow dots on it. So I just put that on there, inked my edges, and yeah, inked all my edges. I kind of like that old movie look. It looked like a movie clip, and put that little piece to the side of Mickey there. Cut it out. Decided that it looked best there. He had a little bit more space. And that's just perfect. So it's all recycled paper. Even the piece that the Disney was typed out was just a piece of scrap paper from something I cut out already too. So it was all recycled except for the paint and the gesso and the glue. So there we go. I had lots of fun doing that. A little piece. I felt like, yay, I get to do this, even though I didn't join the swap. So thanks everyone. I believe the group is like Rolodex Addiction or Addict, something like that, in Facebook if you want to check it out. I'm sorry I can't remember the name offhand. I have to always search it every time. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you very much guys for watching. Bye bye.